This is ridiculous. This is repulsive and appalling.
Once we found out this memo out of the Richmond field office talking about how they need to assess the increasingly interest of racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, those are RMVEs, and this was the kicker, radical traditionalist Catholic, an ideology that presents opportunities for threat migration through exploration of new avenues for tripwire and source development. This was just an idea that, hey, maybe we should go spy on Catholic churches. We know that that actually occurred in one instance, that there was actually an undercover agent placed inside a Catholic church. But what we were told by Christopher Wray, can we play the sound real quick? We were told by Christopher Wray and the FBI that this was horrible, but it was just Richmond.
Your FBI wrote a memo talking about radical traditional Catholics. I'm just wondering if you could define it for us.
Well, what I can tell you is you're referring to the Richmond product, which was a single product by a single field office, which as soon as I found out about it, I was aghast and ordered it withdrawn and removed from FBI systems.
Yeah, aghast and removed. It wasn't just the Richmond office, and the Richmond office man produced the memo. It was in coordination with the Los Angeles office and the Portland, Oregon office. By the way, the Los Angeles office is one of the top 5 offices in the country as far as size go. Richmond's not a small office either, I might add. And that's number one. Number two, one document, well, we went to federal court because that's what we do at the ACLJ. So when you ask, how do you hold people accountable? You find out what's going on, then you take it to Capitol Hill. Pursuant to the court's July 17th order, the parties conferred and the FBI is represented to the plaintiff. That's us. Thus far, ready for this, folks? It has identified 1,200 pages of potentially responsive documents to the targeting of Christians with zero probable cause, with zero evidence to go in, with no evidence of wrongdoing.
When they try to play it down that as one bad memo in one field office, it's Richmond, Virginia, and then they say it, and once they found out about it, they pulled out, nothing ever happened. Then we found out actually there was action taken on the memo, that there was at least one that we know of.
Yeah, we know
of an undercover agent put inside a Catholic church. Again, on a basis of no evidence.
I mean, think about
this was just a theory that they were just sitting around going, where else could violent extremists want to go?
Think about what you just said, though. You just said correctly. They put an agent in a Catholic church with no evidence at all of wrongdoing. Zero.
Just because of that church happened to be, in their view, radically traditionalist Catholic, which, by the way, is a term the FBI made up.
Yep.
That's not something we use. That's not a colloquial term used. Radical traditionalist Catholic. And again, I mean, a lot of Catholics that listen to our broadcast support the ACLJ. I think you would fall under this category if you were someone who takes your faith seriously. That's what they were identifying as a radical traditionalist Catholic. But we broadened out the search and said, well, if they were working with them, I mean, what about Christians? What about just using terminology like that? And you'd think if it was just Richmond, it wouldn't be 1,200 pages of documents. 1,200 pages of documents the FBI is going through right now that they will have to produce to the ACLJ because of this FOIA.
Our whistleblowers have talked about this. The clients we represent, Agent O'Boyle, we represent him. Here's what he said.
I was tasked from headquarters to query one of my confidential human sources who was a pro-life person, and asked them all sorts of questions about the Dobbs decision and, if there are people in the pro-life movement who are mobilizing to be violent. And as this is happening, I'm thinking this is way out of bounds here. People who are pro-life, they're not going to be trying to attack anyone, certainly not a Supreme Court justice, because all the people who were picketing and protesting and rioting outside of Supreme Court justices' homes weren't people who were pro-life. So at that point, I was like, okay, this is an abuse of authority. This is a misuse of power. And so I brought that to Congress, too.
This is why we created the Life and Liberty Drive. The deep state is attacking our religious freedoms. That includes yours. They want to bully Christians into silence. That includes you. You are a vital part of this fight. We don't get to do this without you.
We want you to be part of the Life and Liberty Drive. To go to ACLJ.org. You'll see that new information, that new logo right there on the Life and Liberty Drive, to be part of this campaign, be part of, again, supporting these whistleblowers, getting this information and making sure we expose the wrongdoing, the targeting of Christians by the FBI. Go to ACLJ.org today and donate.